Welcome back to WMAW channel. My name is Racine. The video today is about the importance of armored combat in WMAW. As you know, we do historical fighting arts, martial arts, and also martial arts. I always repeated that and encouraged all my students to take part in different martial arts which are realistic, be it MMA, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, BJJ, wrestling, boxing, and so on, like karate, kyokushin, or whatever. Because it teaches you how to fight under pressure. At the same time, I also encourage, as you saw and said, how important cutting tests are. Cutting tests are important because it teaches you it's not easy to cut. And back then, people on the battlefield at least had a gambeson. Even cutting through a gambeson is extremely hard. Even thrusting is hard. Now imagine you put a male on top of it. Most people had gambeson and a helmet, an arm, like bazoo band. But at the same time, you need to think about it. Okay, now if they have mail armor on top of it, if they have plates on top of it, this is going to be, you're going to face a tank. For this reason, we always emphasize, we do not do game of tanks in WMAW. We do continuous fighting, we do full contact fight. Armored combat teaches you this. Next to this aspect, that it teaches you to push, to use your force, it also allows you to hit hard. Because we do also sparring with historical fencing masks, but we don't do game of tags even there. But with armored combat, it teaches you to hit even harder. So it's very important. I was invited to fight in Western Martial Arts Workshop 2015 and 2017 by my friend Greg Malay. And 3 fights are from 2015 and 2 fights are from 2017. You're going just to see them, first in real time and then in slow motion. And before each fight, I just introduce the fight and you can watch it, and I tell you what I took from this fight. What is important for me is the following. No matter what kind of competition we do, it is a simulation. It has rules. Even MMA, which I really love, is a tough game. Even Muay Thai, all of them have rules. And it's good that they have rules, because we are in a sport competition. What it tells us, no matter how tough they are, we are making simulations. These simulations are important. Those people who say, oh, these are not like a street fight, or they are not real fights, is sharps, is different, and this, and never do sparring, this is absolutely not a correct approach. Through sparring, different types, empty-handed, with weapons, you learn to develop your skills. But even that is not enough. That's why you need cutting tests, to see how you can cut and the limitations of your weapon. So all of them go hand in hand. The fights took place in Racine, Wisconsin, and I also went to University of Wisconsin and to do my bachelor there. So I have really good memories there from this state in the United States. And the first fight I used Shamshir and Separ. My opponent uses a longsword. What I took from it, you see in the beginning of this, my opponent, who is also heavier than me, grabs my spike of my helmet and tries to pull me down. The result was, because I have a strong neck as a Greco-Roman wrestler, and also I have been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for many years, and also submission wrestling, this helped me not to be choked, because I had only one strap here back then. I remember it very well. And once he pulled it, it was a tremendous pressure on my neck, because he was trying to put me down, or at least to get my helmet out of my head, so then it will be considered an armor failure. And at the same time, it was a choking effect. Well, we learn in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also in submission wrestling, once you sit in a choke, you know you can still resist and you don't need to tap or go down in this case. So I could resist it. But still, wrestling helped me that my neck was not really, in that case, cracked, because it was extremely pressure on my, an extreme pressure was exercised on my neck. But you see that I survived, and also was hitting the back of the legs, and which are in our system, because no one protects the back of the leg. So in our system, they are really very, very effective. But as Greg and told me, and also the other organizers back then, our friends, they didn't know that that such a thing exists in our system for going for the back of the legs. So it was a very good fight, and what I learned from this fight was wrestling reigns supreme in any time, be it in mixed martial arts. When strikes are there, wrestling rules, right? In MMA, for example. This also goes for armored combat. You really need to practice wrestling because it gives you also the strength to carry armor. So please, let's watch the fight.
On your honor and upon your guard, begin. Cut across the nail and fabric. Good. Hold. All right, there's no weapon in Manusha's hands.
It's under his foot.
Yes,
Okay,
but he's
I think
got
this
the
is a victory condition for a victory, unless you want to give him the sword.
You may take his sword. Let's finish the fight.
To finish the fight. One more, your sword. Are you prepared? All right. Ready when I lift the baton? Begin. Yep. Okay. Anything? Not all over the nail. Okay. There's a plate under there. There's a plate. Okay. Nope, they're good. Leave them. Leave them. Oh! Okay.
second fight was very interesting. I was using Naze and my opponent a spear. Later on we realized different things after this fight. The organizers kindly told me they didn't know that spear was a cutting weapon, because they assumed that, as you see, that European spear is a thrusting weapon. And also Sergei Gorbatko, who is a Japanese Kenjutsu practitioner, told me, oh Manusha, they don't know that your Naze is like Japanese naginata. What we do in spear is we hit the hands very hard, the arm very hard, then we go and strike the head, the neck, in an extremely strong cutting motion, as you see what I did here. What I took from this fight is, well, you need to know when you fight what kind of expectations are from you. And the second thing is, you always need a backup weapon, because they also, as you see, my opponent had a dagger and I did not. So you need always a backup weapon. You need to know the rules. That's what I took from this. Still, I mean, this is important. You can always learn from this. And also in this fight again, it shows the importance of wrestling, to keep pushing, and also your and to emphasize your techniques, the strengths of your techniques. So let's watch the fight.
Flame. Are you willing to abide by those rules? Then salute and lay on. Okay. Hold. To remind you, you two need to actually place the point. The blow can set it up, but it needs to be the point in. Okay, gentlemen, on your guards. Resume. Several blows. Hold!
The next fight is with my dear friend Maestro Sean Hayes. It was really an honor to fight Sean in this event. So he was using a European spear, thrusting, and I was using again my Neze cutting spear. The fight was very good, and what I learned again, the importance of controlling the shaft of the opponent, pushing and making the space. Don't let the opponent go to the side, and keep pushing and grabbing the shaft when necessary, and use your wrestling to push the guy back and put power behind your strikes, especially the cutting spear power. So let's watch the fight, and thanks Sean again for this wonderful fight.
On your guard! Prepare yourselves! And fight! Into the underarm, point. Into the throat.
One for Sean. Back in both those. That'll wake you up. Separate them, they can't grapple.
Hold. Please separate to range. It's going on for a bit. Yeah. I was just waiting to see if there was a setup. On your guard, please. Ready? Ready. You ready, sir? Yeah. Please begin. Against. Into the underarm, 3 points.
Well, Scott.
Where are we?
You're at a grapple. Something you're not allowed to do. Yeah, no, exactly.
Out of kindness,
Sean is injured, no grapple.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There is one more point to be strong. One there. Ponti! Avoid! Into the underarm. Hold.
You lost the Dagger! Dagger! Dagger!
The next fight is in 2017. I would like to thank my opponent Vader. It was a really good fight, and in this fight, as you can see, it was by this time the organizers kindly knew that spear is a cutting is a cutting spear like naginata, so they gave me also one European partisan, I think it was, with a steel head which resembles somehow Neze, so I could, and they knew that I was going to cut and thrust. So it was very good, and I used the Razmafzar techniques level 3 and 4. Level 3 going arms for the arm, then go for the head, and at the same time push with the shaft, and then close one-handed and use it one-handed, hit the back of and then head and neck. And then you see that at the end, even if you hit the plate, you see that it resulted in the failure of arm protection. And you see this in this fight. Again, this was a very good fight, and that's what I took from this, that these techniques to the arm really are efficient in armored combat. So let's watch the fight.
You are both prepared? You may begin. Whoa, that was not played, dude.
Hold, hey, hold. Broken arm, broken arm.
Where?
On the left forearm. Left forearm on Vader. What?
The last fight of 2017, or of this video, is I faced an opponent with a very strong Milanese armor. My idea was not to leave him space to come. So I opened it with an overhand thrust with Shamshir, couple of them extremely hard. You don't see Shamshir thrust coming when you use this from the first level or from other levels, second as well. Because once it comes, because it's curved, you don't see the thrust coming. So you don't know where this head is going to hit you. And if you put your weight behind it and you go overhand thrust, even if he's in armor, he feels it, trust me. So I just pushed it, and this time I didn't go to the legs, and I just went to the sides of the head, used my wrestling to leave as small space as possible, and pushed back, and then used my Greco-Roman wrestling to go below the arm, and then hit the opponent on the back of the neck. And then again, what I took from this is the importance of overhand thrusts combined with side strikes, horizontal, and to the head and back of the neck. And what I also took is using of wrestling in armored combat, which is extremely important. That's what I took from this fight. So let's watch this fight.
I need a judge to no.
And I would like to thank all my partners, opponents in 2015, 2017 who shared the field with me. I took tremendous valuable experience from this armored combat. Armored combat is very important as well because it makes you strong to carry no matter how well distributed the weight is. One of my armor, the light one is 22 kilos, the heavy one is 32 kilos. No matter how light they are, you feel it. You need strength to carry it. And you see the level of fitness of the person fighting in armor. People who are really athletic, they move as if nothing is on them. They're wearing nothing. People who are not that athletic, you see that the way they move is slower in armor. So fighting in armor is extremely important for anyone involved in historical combat. At least for us in Razmafzar is very important. So I would urge every Razmafzar member to buy a set of armor. You can buy it from ancient Iran, Achaemenid, Parthian, or Sassanid. You can go to Samanid, you can go to the period of Safavid, or even to Qajar, doesn't matter. Important is you have a functional armor. Many people have a show armor. This doesn't help us. You cannot fight with a show armor. You need a strong armor which is hand forged and hardened so you can be able to fight. So I hope you are going to like this video. Please subscribe to our channel and join our ranks. Thank you very much.